And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
R&R Games, which has made two Igor games. Well, today we're talking about one of them. This is Igor, the Life of the Party. Who's the life of the party? Well, I guess it's Igor. Or it may be the monster that he's shooting bolts through. Anyway, it's based on the popular movie. It's a trick-taking game in which players are trying to get tricks of cards, and each time they do so, they get points. But the game also has a set of weird rules that players will be following. It will have some very strong similarities to a public domain game that's, I don't know, it's called different names in different places. I've always played it where it's called Mau or Maui or something like that, where you add a rule that players must do, like stand up when a 6 is played. This game has the same feel to it. The first thing that's done is you put 3 rule cards into play. For example, this one says, when you play a card with King Malbert, you must say, "All hail his evil highness," and touch your forehead to the table. So that's one card in play. This one says that whenever you play any card, any suit, but the card number is 9, you must yell out, "I rule!" Woohoo! And this one says, whenever you play a card that has Heidi or Jacqueline on it, then everyone passes their hand to the player on their right. Continue play with new hands. Alright, so these are the 3 rules that are in play. People have to remember them. The dealer gets to draw 2 cards and pick one of them to be the rules. So this one says, when you are correctly accused of breaking a rule, then you must politely thank the accuser for pointing out the error of your ways. So that's the rule I pick. Everybody starts with some points. You can see here that there's the points of different denominations, and players will start with these points, and you're trying to get the most of them to win the game, but you only start with 10. You get 3 points every time you win a trick. Players are dealt 7 cards to start the game, and in each game, as most trick-taking games, you can lead each trick with any color you want. So for example, I lead here with a blue 9, and each other player must follow suit around the table, and if you don't have the suit that's led, for example if you don't have blue, then you can play any color you want. The winner of each hand is the player who plays the highest number in any suit that wasn't the color led. Alright, that sounds a little confusing. Basically it works like this. If I lead blue, then every color except blue is trump. So brown would be trump, yellow would be trump, green would be trump, red would be trump. And among all the trump colors, whoever plays the highest number first is the winner of that trick. If nobody plays a trump color, then whoever plays the highest number of that trick takes it. When you take a trick, you get 3 points. But there's more than just taking tricks at a game. Whenever people play cards, you have to pay attention to the rules that were played. And you have to do whatever it says. For example, this rule says King Malbert. So the person who did that has to put their forehead on the table and say, "Oh,
King Malbert."
Right. So when you do that, then you get... If you don't do that, then you lose a point. And the player who catches you is the one who can take the point from you. And so each hand of 7 cards, when all those cards are done and everyone's won the tricks, the person who has won the most tricks becomes the dealer, and they can add a new rule to the game, or they can subtract one. And you keep going and you keep playing until you get to a certain amount of malarians, the money tokens here, and whoever reaches that number of malarians first is the winner. Component-wise, the game is good. It has the same ugly, hideous artwork that the movie has, and apparently everyone in the world loves except me. The tokens for the coins are fine. The card quality is fine. As a trick-taking game, it works. I'm not sure I've played a trick-taking game before where every color except the color led is trump, but I suppose that works, although it makes for some odd plays. You have to figure out, you're trying to play a card that you think everyone else does have, so that nobody can play trump, and you're trying to keep as wide of a variety of cards in your hand so that you can play trump. It's just an interesting way, and if you look at this as just a trick-taking game only, taken from that viewpoint only, it's probably a mediocre one. There's nothing really for it to stand out, even though it does have that ability to take tricks with trump, which is everything except the trick led. What's going to make this game attractive is the ability to bring these silly rules into play. Now, some people will think that that is hilarious. That is the bee's knees to be able to play with all these rules. Yay, I can do silly things. People are going to flip out and have a great time. There's also going to be people who are really angry and think that is the worst thing possible. You know which one you are. Are you fun-loving and silly? Then you're going to love this game. Or you don't have time for that sort of nonsense. You're going to hate this game. What do you think of it?
I really like it. It's fun.
This was one of the first trick-taking games I played with Melody, because trick-taking does require a certain age level, I think, to some degree, but she was able to pick up on it. And did you like playing the cards better, or do you like following the rules better?
Following the rules.
Right, and I think that's going to really appeal to games. So if there's one way that I would really recommend this Igor, the Life of the Party game, is as a family game, a game for adults to play with kids. And the kids are going to remember the silly rules and the adults aren't, while the adults might play the cards a little bit better, so it should be a pretty even game. A pretty nice, nifty game, not one I would play with anyone but kids, but hey, I'm sure that's who it was intended for anyway.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.